Hold on, you like my new background? It's all nice and clean. Looks a little more
Very nice.
professional. Now we just need to up here the sign, and we're ready to roll. Hi, and welcome to the Facebook Ad Kingdom podcast. Here we tackle some of the biggest questions surrounding Facebook ads, e-com, business, entrepreneurship, products, and much more. And we also don't swear, so it's kosher. You know it's kosher. I'm your host, Morty Rapp, and with me is my co-host and my boss, Azrael Ratz, founder of Rats Pack Media. Welcome back to episode.
Great.
Come on, say it with more gusto.
Episode
Hey! Today we are going to talk about something that sounds technical but is super interesting. And if you're on Facebook, this at one point or another has probably affected you. If you're a Facebook ad person, or you're running ads, or you're a company who wants to run ads, we're going to talk about the 5 weirdest, strangest, kind of useless, or many other descriptions. Basically, 5 of the weirdest Facebook ad features that Azrael has ever seen. I think that's a pretty good description of these 5. So let's just jump right in. Number 1 is, drumroll please, special ad categories. What the heck does that mean?
So, Facebook rolled this feature out like late 2018, early 2019, because of a court case. So, what happened was, back almost a decade ago, 2016 or so, businesses like Uber wanted to fill job positions. So, logically, as someone looking to run Facebook ads, the first thing they did was like, who are the people that are most likely to fill these positions? And they said, 80% of drivers for us are men. So that means that we should target men. On top of that, most of those men are age under 40. So let's only target people 25 to 40 men in wherever we need drivers. And for Uber, that makes a logical amount of sense.
Yeah,
The
it's called
problem
standard
is,
demographic advertising, right? Like literally this is what every single person in advertising
that's
does.
exactly what I want to do. If I'm selling dresses to women, I wouldn't want men to see the ads in most of the situations. So logic dictates this makes a lot of sense to do. The
What
problem
happened?
is there's actually a law in America that this is directly against. There is you are not allowed for jobs for a few things we'll get into in a second. We're not allowed to discriminate in America for employment, for credit, and for housing. Any of the following things, and probably more that I'm going to miss: age, gender, religion, any additional, discrimination law umbrellas. And because of
Okay.
that, it's not only illegal for the employer, like Uber, to exclude women in Philadelphia from being drivers, but it's actually illegal for Facebook as a company to allow employers to target accordingly. So, as an example, I run ads for a company that were looking for lifeguards. And they know that most of the people that are going to be lifeguards are going to be under the age of 25. That's just who the people are that they've hired in the past. So, what they want to do is target people that want to be lifeguards that are under
Makes a
25.
lot of
They
sense.
are not allowed to because that is ageism and it's against a law in America. You get sued a ton of money. So if I remember, couldn't find it right before this podcast, but like something like $2 billion Facebook had to pay out of pocket
Holy
to cover this
cow.
fee. And
Wait,
since
who did they
then,
pay it to? Who's
the
suing?
FTC, the U.S. government, the IRS
Oh,
was
wow.
one of these government agencies, got the money. And Facebook since then has been like, we do not want to give any more money for your people's problems, you being all of these employers that
Oh
want to
my
do STEM
gosh.
stuff. So because of that, any time that anything sounds like a job opportunity,
Right.
Facebook is very quick to cut that off. And basically, if you try to run an ad and you don't specify that it's a job, or you don't specify it's for housing, you don't specify it's for credit, Facebook will flag the ad, turn it off, and say you can't run it. The problem is that there are a lot of ads that don't fall into this category that Facebook's AI will just say it is for jobs. For example, if you're a business coach and you tell in the ad you write, help you make 6 figures, that
Right.
phrasing sort of sounds like you're paying someone 6 figures, which is a job. And
Right.
Facebook will immediately flag all of those ads. Or if you tell
Wow.
people
Wow. Wow.
that,
Wow.
like, you even think about like wording for payment processor, like you want someone to use Stripe or someone to use Shopify, someone to use
Right.
PayPal, and they just say, hey, you could use this service and we'll only charge you this percentage of the thing. That kind of
That's it.
sounds like a loan, right? Like
Right.
it might not be a loan, but the AI might think it is. So because of that, a lot of these, and also in housing, for example, I actually run ads for a business coach that helps with real estate investing. But when all of a sudden your ads sound like you're helping someone either buy or sell their house, Facebook is very quick to strike those ads as housing, employment, or credit, and will restrict those ads from being run to the point where you have to play around with either requesting that every time, like basically what happens is every time we make edits to the budget or we change the landing page, we change the ads, they get flagged, they have to be reviewed, they have to be reapproved almost every time because
Oh my
Facebook is
gosh.
very quick to stop you from doing something that might get them in trouble. So this is like the first
I
really annoying feature that, listen, legally they have to, right? Like
Right.
you imagine for race reasons, right? Like, as a Jew, I would like to have the same housing, credit, and job opportunities as
Correct.
anyone else in America, but these advertisers can actively exclude from specific zip codes because they don't want these types of people moving to town.
Wow.
And so Facebook has to make sure to enforce it. But as a business that works in the peripheries of this sort of thing, whether that's coaching or real estate investment or even credit cards, like for business credit cards,
Yep.
where you want to target someone that owns a business, right? Even that might be restricted within the rules of Facebook within these special ad categories.
So I have a couple of questions though. Like,
Yeah.
so it sounds like in theory, right? In theory, the law kind of makes sense, and we don't have to unpack, American U.S. law. It makes sense. It's there to protect people. It's there to make sure no one's taking advantage. And like you said, we want to make sure there's equal opportunities, and that in a way makes sense. But the trickle effect of that thing, it seeps into the gray area of a lot of
Sure.
these things. So I would say fine. So credit card companies, yep, okay, fine. Realtors and real estate companies, yep, they obviously can't do the super target advertising that they want to, but then it leaks into the job opportunity one is a little bit of a tough one. That's a hard one to get by.
For
Do you
like any business coach, whenever I run ads for them, they always have to make sure to exclude any language that's around help you achieve this, especially in the ads. Maybe you can get away with it being on the landing page or something, which Facebook's also working on. They also like scroll through your, not any human, but the AI is basically, there's a tool that Facebook has called the Facebook debugger, where you could put any URL on the internet into it, and Facebook will actually show you what it's scraped, the picture, the header, the title, the description, all the text on it, whatever the buttons are. So they're doing that for every page. Once you've uploaded it to Facebook and run an ad for it, they've already collected whatever data's existing on that page. People even claim they do it for all of the future pages in that funnel. So if you send to a checkout page, it has it also. If you send it to the thank you page, whatever additional pages on the site. So they're scraping all that to make sure that none of this might be construed as something that's related to employment. And they would much rather guard themselves than protect you as the little baby advertiser spending, nothing to them. A company that makes $30 billion a quarter doesn't really care about your like $10,000 you're spending on Facebook ads. So they'd much rather
right?
throw you to the curb than figure out how they're going to protect themselves.
So it just sounds like more work for you, less probably ROI for anyone who bleeds into that gray area. It kind of sounds like you wouldn't even why would advertisers want to even work in those periphery clients? Because it just sounds like it's
When
so
a
much
business
harder.
coach's single sale is $10,000, it's worth.
All right, let's move on to number 2. Tell me a little bit about link click campaigns. What the heck are they, and why do they stink?
Well, they more than stink, Morty. Facebook Facebook has done a good job of sort of, when you create an ad campaign, there's a pop-up and it asks you which sort of ad you want to run, and it asks you want brand awareness, you want video views, you want engagement, you want app installs, you want purchases, and then it asks you, do you want link clicks? Now, just so a user understands, when you select this objective early, right at the beginning, before you've done anything else in your ad account, Facebook is telling you that whoever you're planning to target, whether it's your email list or a lookalike or interest or behaviors, doesn't matter. They're going to look at that giant list and say, we only want to focus on this small group of people because they're the people that do this thing you're asking for. whether that's video views,
Oh,
brand awareness, conversions, app install, stuff like that.
interesting.
And for many different types of businesses, they all want different stuff. For example, you have an app, so it makes sense you would want people to download your app. And when you look at the overall environment of app installers, I don't know if you know this data, which is it's a little crazy, but basically, if you look at the overall data internationally, how many people, how many apps per person do you think are downloaded per year? For every user that has a phone, every phone owner, how many new apps does that person install per year?
I'm going to go with 0.5.
It is zero. The answer is zero. Zero new apps are installed per year. So that means that you as an app installer don't want almost anyone in the world to see your ad because nobody installs apps. But not only that, it actually gets worse. The average time that a person uses an app is less than 7 days and never ever again. So if you're trying to get the average consumer on Facebook to download an app, they're likely not going to download it. And then even if they do, they likely will never use it after 7 days of seeing it.
It sounds like Facebook is just giving people false hope.
But
It's going to make them money.
The thing is that not everyone in the world is this person, right? Most people fit into that category. But there is a small group of people that, one, love installing new apps, and two, might even use it. Now, this is a very small demographic compared to the overall, like you're talking about, out of the 5 billion people on Earth with phones, on average, there are less than a total of 5 billion downloaded apps per year, right? But that means that there might be that one guy, my 9-year-old kid with a spare phone that I have that has no SIM card. He downloads like 300 games every single week. So there are these specific groups of people that download hundreds of apps all the time. And because Facebook has data for everything, they have the thing called the Facebook SDK, which is essentially the same thing as the Facebook Pixel, which we might discuss on some podcast in the future. They're able to see when users download and engage with apps. So you run an app install ad, and Facebook hyper focuses on this very specific group of people that install apps. And you could do the same thing for each of those 6 categories. People that watch videos, there are people that don't watch videos, so Facebook doesn't target them. There are people that don't engage or don't remember or aren't care about brand awareness. There are people that don't buy online. Like, I meet people.
I have a question for a
I'm
second.
going to let you answer your question in 1 second. There are people that never buy, they never purchase. So if you're targeting everyone that's a lookalike to your purchasers, but I only care about the people that buy, out of that 3 million people in America, only 100,000 might be buyers. So Facebook just won't talk to the other 2.9 million people.
That makes a lot of sense. Keep going.
So Facebook is doing this amazing job of segmenting users based on not just who you're telling them to target, but also within that group
Actions.
who are actively interested in taking this action.
Yeah.
So we go through each of them. We say, okay, brand awareness makes sense and video view makes sense. And okay, but now we get to link click ads. Okay. And logically speaking, you would think that I want users that are going to take action on my website. But what Facebook looks for is not the people that take action on your website. It's people that click on your website. And so what ends up happening is you essentially run Facebook ads. You might even target your warm existing list, like your email list, your engagement, or people that watch 95%, like really great quality users. But yet when you tell Facebook you're looking for link clicks, it hyper focuses on this very specific demographic of people that love clicking on random stuff. And I have never seen in all of my years that be a valuable thing. Because what happens is you want to target website visitors and you say, if someone managed to get to my site, it makes logical sense to say that they are someone that will likely want to buy from me.
They've entered the funnel. It makes sense.
All my website visitors. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to target people that click on links. I'm going to dump hundreds of thousands of terrible quality users that don't want to buy from me into my warm audiences. And then I'm going to pay money to talk to them a dozen more times, leveraging a conversion ad in hopes that maybe they'll want to buy from me. So essentially, I have never, in all the years, come up with a feasible explanation for why any business on earth would ever want to spend any money at all on link click ads.
Wow. Literally, it is a category that is designed around the similar personality to your 9-year-old son. Click, 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 and no one's gaining anything. It's just money
Well,
wasted.
Facebook is gaining lots of money. And then
Okay,
they
so
could tell you
Facebook's
that they
gaining.
sent thousands of clicks to your website for pennies on the dollar. And then not a single one of those, maybe one out of 10,000 clicks will be valuable. Maybe.
Jeez. I'm sure there's got to be a industry where that's worth it.
I have not found one yet. If anyone listening to this podcast finds an industry, please allow me to know so that I could tell them they should run LinkedIn ad, link click ads. Until
You
then,
need to prove me wrong on college campus. Prove me wrong. Link campaigns suck.
I actually think I have seen pictures like that from other ad buyers that believe the same way as me.
Okay, well, it's good to know you're not alone.
Although Meta reps will still tell you to run link click ads, and I will tell you they are
Wrong.
garbage. They are garbage on fire.
The people or the
No, well,
Y'all, we are now up to question 3. Now, I know nothing about what this term means, so please educate me and anyone else. Or educate or enlighten, but the question is as follows. What is ASC testing, and why does it suck?
okay. So just to explain, ASC campaigns are called Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. And Facebook, over the years, especially since 2020 when Apple removed the ability to target people that have opted out of tracking, they've removed a lot of potential opportunities for targeting users. From basically stripping many of the potential warm audiences you could target because they're opted out, from matching the email lists, from removing interest targeting, like a lot of the interest that used to be available, that Facebook wants you as the ad buyer to rely more and more on their AI or machine learning or whatever sort of thing. So they created this tool called an Advantage Shopping campaign. And what's really great is that it feels a whole lot like boosting a post. You literally tell Facebook, here's my money. You obviously are running it for conversion, so the hope is you're reaching users that potentially would be buyers, and you're just choosing which ads. In fact, Facebook will recommend which ads you should use, and you just literally checkbox a bunch of them. They get automatically added. They're run within a couple of minutes, and there is essentially no targeting you can do. You can't add custom audiences. You can't choose lookalikes. You can't introduce interests. You can't choose genders. You can't choose age. I hear rumors that they might be adding that for specific industries. And that is basically a watered down version or very close equivalent to what used to be the boost post button, but specifically for conversion ads. The problem is that that sort of ad takes a lot of work to get working. So as a novice ad buyer, or as someone who's like does the regular organic and is told by their employer, hey, let's run some Facebook ads, and you click a couple buttons and Facebook says, hey, use our new Advantage AI magic that's going to find your buyers. It's a very compelling tool to use, but it has a very steep learning curve, not for the user, but for the campaign itself. So you set up the campaign, and it essentially doesn't work for the first 7 to 10 days. So you're spending money every single day, and almost always the campaign does not work for the first couple of days. So you don't know that, right? It doesn't tell you the algorithm is going to take this time to learn and find the right users. But because you've essentially opened up the algorithm to target anyone Facebook wants, it takes this time to show a lot more impressions.
Okay.
It requires a lot more ads to test. It requires a lot more money to get the first initial ad purchase. Like you imagine if you run ads to your warm audiences, you might have a sale within the first couple of hours. But for this campaign, it could take 4 or 5 days till you're getting any sort of return you're happy with. But then on top of that, it can't live on its own in the ad account. You can't just run just these types of campaigns because these campaigns actually leverage the data from your other ads. So you have to constantly be running other ads, testing other creatives, and then taking the winners, putting it into the ASC campaigns, and then allowing both the internal learning of the ASC and the external learning of the other ad campaigns you're running, whether that's CBO, ABO, whatever other testing you're doing, to let that data feed into the data of the ASC to continue allowing it to perform well over time. So essentially, while it's true that it is a really great tool that you should test as a business, I always test ASCs because you never know. You might find for a specific industry or a specific type of business it would work. But there is such a steep learning curve to know how to use them that most business owners or most ad buyers don't know how to do it, and they likely do it wrong, which means that it's not even being used the right way, and you're probably would have been better off at your low ad spend to have just run your ads the manual way, in the way that you've always done it before, because you'll get better results at a lower ad spend and much quicker than you will from those campaigns.
I guess the follow-up question to that is, do you think it will get better? I mean, AI technology, and then again, that's a topic that is so huge and it's going to bleed into every industry, but it will get better, right, over time. Do you feel like threatened at all by something like that? Like, in theory, it could replace you because it's doing all the things a media buyer does, right? It's testing, it's learning, it's changing, and that is what a good media buyer should be doing, right?
So I have an opinion, and AI is a much larger topic we could get into in the future. I could imagine that most jobs will be replaced. Who am I to disagree with all these consulting companies? I think like 90% of all jobs will be replaced in the next 20 years by AI. Yeah, I do think that this is one of those jobs that can be replaced with AI. But AI needs learnings to learn. And I think we spoke about this. I don't remember if we spoke about it on the last episode, where we talked about how you as an ad buyer have like these opportunities to target stuff with. And so you want to leverage the stuff you know from other stuff you run ads for. So
Right.
if all the ads are being run the same way with the AI, there's no new person testing new stuff to get the AI to learn new ways of doing it. So as Facebook strips, again, the lookalike audiences and the interest targeting and all these things, but still has some abilities to target, you might find in another few years, like we went through periods where bid caps were a really powerful tool, where there was a thing called the bully system by Tim Bird, who used to have special ways of, running special bids to outperform your competitors and get you to overspend everyone else. And there were all these techniques that ad buyers came up with within the confines of what existed for that time period, right? Like whatever was available, whether that's running minimum ROAS ads or high volume versus low cost ads, like all of these little tweaks you could do, ad buyers tested all of these different features and then found the ones that worked.
Right.
I remember when CBO first came out. We can do CBO later, but when first CBO was first announced, I think it was also around 2018, 2019. Some ad buyers found a way that basically would allow you to run ads to the same audience a few times. So essentially you'd have
Right.
one ad campaign and you target your lookalike audience, the same lookalike audience, 3 separate times in 3 ad sets in the same campaign. And Facebook would spend differently in each one based on how the CBO at the time worked. That would allow you to basically have the same one audience run against itself. It wouldn't be competing because it was in the same campaign, and it would drive your cost down. Now, logically, that doesn't make any sense. But as ad buyers try to play with the rules they're allowed to, right? Like all of a sudden, special ad categories come in, and you have to adapt to that sort of thing. That same thing is happening now. As Facebook's leveraging AI more and more, there becomes new opportunities that can be tested. And that's what ad buyers are going to be doing on that, bleeding edge 10% of ad spend that you never would have thought before would make any sense to do. But because of the way that Facebook's cornered us as ad buyers, this is what we have left in our arsenal. And you ask already, maybe we'll be replaced. Well, I already know of ad buyers that already only run broad targeting, and they already call it a day, and they don't use LinkedIn lookalike audience. They don't use warm audience, and they just let the algorithm do it. And yet, I outperform those campaigns. I actually run for clients that request this test. I hate doing it because it wastes their money, but I will run campaigns. We'll have one ad account run just with broad, with the same, suggestions that some ad buyers have. And then one where I'll compete with using lookalikes and interest in broad and ASC and all that testing and move the budgets around accordingly. And there's a reason I still do it my way is because it still gets better performance. So
Yeah, because it seems like the hard work is worth it.
correct.
And
The
there,
hard
and like
work
you said, there's an
is
appeal
worth
to
it.
the laziness factor.
And so do I think there will be a day when AI will take over? For sure, it will happen. AI will continue to improve and will do better. But until then, there will be an opportunity for ad buyers to continue training the AI because it's got to learn from somewhere. And 95% of ad buyers are terrible, according to Facebook's own data, not mine. That
It's not an
which is why
opinion.
they rolled out these campaigns because they said 95% of ad buyers are inefficiently targeting. So let us just do it ourselves and run it this way. So as
I
long
guess
as those
makes
5%
sense.
continue to innovate in the industry, there will always be room. There won't always be room. There will be room for what for a while for ad buyers to continue getting better performance than just blindly letting AI do it for you till the day that I could go retire on the beach and let AI take my job.
Or okay, we're now moving on to question four. Question four. I really want more. Uh, so what's real? Tommy, what's the deal with no boosting Instagram posts?
So this is one of these things that really grind my gears. Okay? Facebook has had a tool for as long as I can remember called the boost post button. Anyone that posts anything on Facebook on a business page, there's a little blue button and it says boost post. You click a couple buttons and it automatically creates the ad for you and it's running. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing that for a bunch of reasons, which we could talk about at a different time. Episode 483, pin
We'll
that.
get there.
And when you boost a post, it creates the ad in Ad Manager for you to now run however you'd like. So what that means is that I could go into the Ad Manager, adjust the audiences, adjust to how I want to run the ads. I could even go and not use the boost post button, go and grab the Facebook post directly in Ads Manager as an existing post, run it as an ad. And what's great is that that post will literally take the existing organic post, all of its comments, likes, shares, saves, all that stuff will come with it on the ad. So you spend the first dollar on ads running an organic post, and the very first impression literally has potentially hundreds of likes, comments, and shares, which is phenomenal for a business that has a large Facebook audience. But as we've aged over the years, Facebook's being used less and less by the younger demographic, and Instagram is being used more and more by that demographic. So they since then have added a boost post button for Instagram. The thing that's annoying about it is that that boost post doesn't live on the ad manager, which doesn't make any sense. It's the same platform. You run the ads on Instagram just like you would, but for whatever reason, when you boost a post, it lives in your Instagram account. Now, as an ad buyer, many times, you don't get login access to the Instagram. You just get access to run it from the ad manager. So you're not able to even use that feature. So I actually somehow still have never even been able to test said boost post button feature in Instagram because it's never been relevant for my clients to do it. But on top of that, with that ability to run a boost post on Instagram like you would on Facebook, when I go and select an existing post on on Instagram, it doesn't come along with all of its likes, comments, shares, views, and all that stuff. So I'm running a post that potentially could have already gotten thousands of likes, comments, and shares for my clients. They already know that post works. They already are getting traction on it. And now I'm spending money to essentially rebuild all of the organic social proof again, which is no longer organic. It's paid social proof.
Right.
So
That's a big stink.
Facebook has this ability on the Facebook posts for businesses that exist and run and post regularly on Facebook. But now the very same company that has grown potentially even larger following on Instagram can't now leverage that very same tool for Instagram posts to leverage its social or organic social proof, which is really frustrating because you imagine as a business, so I say as a consumer, I see two posts. One, they're exactly the same. One has 10,000 likes, a bunch of comments and shares, and one has 3 likes, comments, and shares. Which of those two posts am I more likely to engage with? And the answer is the one with social proof. So if I already have a page and it already has those comments, I want to be able to leverage that. And I can on Facebook, but I can't on Instagram. And there's no reason for it. And when you actually get on the phone and talk to a MetaRep and say, hey, why is this? They go, I never even knew.
Oh, jeez, that's terrible. And it's funny. It's terrible. They also tease you, meaning because from the ad platform, you can interact with Instagram, you can run ads, you can perform for them. But Instagram, like you said, the social proof is an incredible feature given the right circumstances, and they just didn't even
And
think
it
about it.
strips all of the social proof off the post when it runs it as an ad.
Facebook, if you're listening to this,
They're for sure listening. They
do us
listen
a
to everything.
do us a solid. Just put it into the Meta account. Let him do it. Let Israel do his job. Come on. Hold on. Well, we could also, I mean, in theory, you could ask your clients, "Can I have access to your Instagram account?"
No, because a boost post doesn't let you run the conversion campaigns. And just like the Facebook boost post that only lets you run
Ooh,
video
I
views
gotcha.
or link clicks or engagement, you can't run it as a good conversion campaign, which is
Right.
why I would rather run. I'm okay with using existing posts. I like the equivalent of what is a boost post. I just choose to run it from Ad Manager where I can select running it as a conversion campaign,
Right.
selecting the pixel I want to use, all that stuff, which isn't something that's possible on Facebook and also isn't possible on Instagram. It isn't like I could just log in and run a boost post and use that post because you can only run those posts as
Posts.
engagements, as
Right.
engagements or link clicks or video views, and not as conversions. And
That's a stinker. Well, I hope they fix that. And if they don't, that's just wasted potential.
stupid. Yep. As I complained, they used to not be able to target Instagram followers. For years, you used to be able to target Facebook followers, but now you're Instagram followers. But they've since rolled that out, and now that is a targetable option. And a lot of ad buyers don't even know that that's a targetable option. And there's businesses that have spent years getting followers on Instagram, and you don't even know that you could run ads to the people that follow you on Instagram. So at least
That seems like pretty basic. But what
it's
you are
new.
saying is there's hope.
There's hope.
There's hope.
If you
Ladies and
lose your
gentlemen,
hope, what do you have left?
if you lose your hope, there's not even a point of being on Instagram. Ah, it's a real Shonda. Israel, the final question, question number 5 of our little list of the 5 weirdest features on Facebook ads account management. Video audience creation. What the heck?
What the heck? So it's like this. If you go into your ads manager and go into your audience section, you can create a whole bunch of different types of audiences. So the first one is called the saved audience, where you put in your interests, put in whatever you want, and then that audience is available for you to use wherever you want, either on ads manager or even as a boost post. Create that audience once and it's saved audience. Then you have the lookalike audience. Lookalike audiences are really great. You leverage what is a custom audience. We'll get there in a second. You leverage a custom audience. You tell Facebook which country you want to target, and they create a lookalike to that custom audience. And then the third one is custom audiences, which is all of the people that already know you, whether that's people on your email list, you have a phone number list, you have people that have your app, you have people that visited your website, you have people that engage in your Facebook page, you have people that have filled out lead forms. And then one of the sections is video view engagement. So if you go and select on the audience tab, you go and select engagement, whether that's Facebook or Instagram.
Yep.
There's a drop down menu. It asks you what sort of engagement do you want, and the options, I might miss a few, but the options are visiting the Instagram or Facebook page. Just coming to the page is enough. Anyone that visited, great. Number 2, anyone that likes, comments, shares, or saves.
Makes
Number
sense.
3 is anyone that messages. Number
Makes
4
sense.
is anyone that likes.
Also makes sense.
And then number 5 is all of those people. And so you basically create the audience once. You tell Facebook how many days you want to go back, whether that's 10 days, 30 days, up to 365 days. You create the audience once. You never think about it ever again. Facebook constantly updates it. Anyone that follows the page gets added. Anyone that like, comments, shares on a post, anyone that saves the post, anyone that anything, they take that action, they get added to the audience. You never have to go back and fix it. But then they have video view campaigns. And while it was built smart once, it's no longer intelligent. Because what you get to do is you select your Facebook page and you get a drop down menu. And Facebook asks you, how much engagement do you want this user to have? Do you want that they just watch 3 seconds, 10 seconds?
Oh, they get you choose. Okay.
Then you choose what type of video engagement. And then they even break down 25%, 50%, 75%, and 95% of the video that you want to target for. And you get this drop down menu and you have to choose how long they watch for. So now you're going to go and select, let's just say 50%. You've selected that. And then they bring you a big giant menu where you now select your Facebook page or your Instagram page, and they give you a list of every video that you've ever posted with the amount of views that that video has.
And these are only native videos, right?
Native videos
upload.
to either Instagram or Facebook. The Reels, they're all in there. Not
Got it.
stories. Just
Okay.
Reels or organic or ad posts that have videos in them.
So far, so
Now,
good.
as the ad buyer, you have to manually select every single video that you want to be represented in this audience. So you might have a client that posts 5 videos a week, and you have to now go back and manually checkbox hundreds of videos. Now, at a certain
Going back.
point, because you can only go back 365 days. So if you have a post from 2015, the number of views that that video might be getting is potentially very little, right? But if you are an active social page that has been posting actively videos since 2015, you can imagine just how many videos there are. But it doesn't end there, because now you created the audience, and now in another 5 weeks, you might have another 15, 20 videos. So you have to remember, as the ad buyer, to go back into the design and reselect all the new videos as they're being uploaded by the client, so that you're constantly targeting new people that are watching these videos. And as you wait, the people that watched 365 days ago are being removed from the audience. So the audience is actively getting smaller every single day. It's a real pain in the butt to create in the first place. And then you have to actively manage the new checking of that audience to make sure that you're always putting on the new videos that are being added to the page.
Well, in theory, it sounds like it's a good tool.
It's
just
a great
the tool is extremely dysfunctional.
But they should just have another version of it, just like in the
automation
audiences.
Yes.
All videos. Just let me target anyone that watched 25% of all my videos. I don't have to think about it ever again. Just have it in that same drop down. And then also have that same thing for the video view campaigns on that basic level. And do it the other way, right? Because I don't want everyone that engaged with my page. Maybe I have a specific post that did really well, or it's talking about a very specific topic. I want to be able to run ads to anyone that engaged in that one specific post. Let me do this.
Right, exactly.
Just like I could do it for video, let me do it for engagement. But for some reason, for videos, they have this tool. There's no automatic way to create it for everyone. And then on the other side, I want to do the same sort of like micro targeting for engagement that I can't do with the regular tool. So both tools have their advantages and disadvantages.
Sure.
The problem is that there is no reason today why there isn't just a catch-all. Anyone that watched any of my videos. Imagine like a creator that posts a ton every week, like these big creators. I have
their content. That's it. Their content is video.
Right. And so they might have 100 million people view their video, but they didn't share, they didn't follow, they didn't visit the page. And unless I go manually and constantly update that audience daily for the new videos that are uploaded, there are people that are not being targeted simply because of I'm not calling it a glitch, like a feature in the ad platform that's not letting me leverage that.
Yeah, I will call it a weakness. I think it's a weakness in it. That's definitely a strange thing, and you would think Facebook would be able to fix that one pretty easily.
They got to get on it.
Got to get involved, Facebook. Fix these things, okay?
Do they even work anymore? Do they have employees left? I think they fired everyone.
They've got at least 6. I know. I have a friend who works at Facebook. Meta. Sorry, Meta.
Maybe 5.
Yeah, 5 exactly. That's all they have. But that's all they need. Robots everywhere.
It's just Mark Zuckerberg and his lizard companions.
Oh, what it would be like to be a lizard in the lizard kingdom. Okay, well, there you have, folks. These are the 5 strangest or dysfunctional tools on the Facebook ads side of things. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you love it. We hope you don't use them.
I want to hear if people have weirder things that Facebook does, what really bugs them about this platform.
Oh, yeah, that would be really cool. Tell us. Don't be shy. Reach out. Comment. Let us know.
Loves getting emails.
I do love emails. Drop a link in the comments below. Do it. We want to hear from you guys. And we'll see you next week. Rock and roll. Welcome to the kingdom. We still don't have a catchphrase. We don't have a catchphrase yet. Welcome to the... I hope the royalty's here.
Welcome.
All right, ta-ta.